Hello, welcome back to Everyday Tricks. Have you ever been like me? Just yesterday, these tomatoes were plump and red, as if they had just been picked from the garden. But after one night, they turned black, wrinkled, mushy, and smelled sour and rotten. You might think putting them in the fridge will keep them fresh, but no. Tomatoes are very sensitive to low temperatures. When you put tomatoes in the fridge, the cold air breaks down the internal cell structure, causing the tomato flesh to lose its elasticity, become mushy, and quickly release water. What a waste, right? A 5-star chef with 20 years of experience cooking in Europe shared an extremely simple yet surprisingly effective storage method that keeps tomatoes fresh for weeks to months, preserving their flavor and nutritional value. Today, I'll reveal those methods to you. With just a few simple steps, you can save a lot of money, avoid food waste, and always have fresh, clean tomatoes for cooking every day. Let's get started. Method 1. First, you just need a bowl of warm water and a spoonful of salt. It's not to make them salty, but to wash the tomatoes, removing dirt and bacteria from the skin, just like many families do when they buy fruits and vegetables. Soak the tomatoes for about 1 to 2 minutes, then rinse them with clean water and drain them thoroughly. Washing tomatoes with salt water helps remove dirt and bacteria. Next, cut them in half and slice them thinly. Every time I do this step, I always remember the tomato stalls in supermarkets and farmers' markets in Europe, which are always fresh and fragrant. Which country are you watching this video from? Please leave a comment. It's really nice to know that we are connecting from all over the world. Okay, now let's move on to the next step. Now for the seasoning. It's very simple. 1 finely chopped onion, next, 4 cloves of minced garlic, and a little parsley. Prepare 3 clean, dry glass jars. Now we'll layer the spices into the jars. A bay leaf, a few peppercorns, some garlic, onion, parsley. Then a layer of tomatoes. Repeat this until the jar is full. Seeing the distinct layers of color through the glass jar always gives a very neat, Now comes the crucial part. Add half a teaspoon of salt and 1 teaspoon of 9% vinegar to each jar. The vinegar helps create a safe environment so the tomatoes don't spoil. Boil water and pour it into each jar, wipe the rim dry, and seal the lid tightly. Place a piece of cloth at the bottom of a deep pot, as a trick to prevent the jars from rattling or cracking when the water boils. Place the jars in, and pour water up to the level of the lids. Sterilize for 35 minutes from when the water starts boiling. This is the step that helps the tomatoes stay fresh for weeks, even months. Once sterilized, simply let everything cool naturally. If you hear a small pop or see the jar lid indent, that's the familiar sign. The jar is completely sealed, with all air removed. And there you have it, clean, attractive jars of tomatoes that you can take out and use anytime. Simple, practical, and very economical for every family's kitchen. So that's the first method. If you want a gentler method that doesn't require sterilization but still keeps tomatoes fresh for a very long time, then method 2 will surprise you. Method 2. First, prepare a bowl of clean water. Add 1 tablespoon of baking soda and stir until it dissolves completely. Baking soda helps clean dirt, natural wax, and impurities stuck to the tomato skin. A simple but extremely important step if you want to preserve them for a long time. Place the whole tomatoes in the bowl and wash them gently. No need to scrub hard, as tomato skins are very thin, just enough to remove the outer layer. Soak tomatoes for 3 to 5 minutes. I've added subtitles in multiple languages. Which country are you watching this video from? Please leave a comment. It's great to know we're connecting from all over the world. Rinse with clean water again. After washing, place the tomatoes on a dry towel and pat them gently to remove any remaining water. This is very important. Wet tomatoes are more likely to crack when frozen. Next, prepare thick Ziploc bags. Place each tomato in a bag, arranging them so they don't press too heavily on each other. Now comes the crucial step. Seal the bag, but remember to leave a small opening. Use a straw to suck all the air out of the bag. When the bag is almost flat, seal the opening tightly to create a near vacuum state. This method is very popular in many households because it doesn't require a vacuum sealer, yet it is highly effective. Finally, just place the bag of tomatoes in the freezer. Leaving them whole helps the tomatoes retain their color, juiciness, and natural flavor. When you need them, just take them out, let them thaw for a few minutes, and you can cook soup, make sauce, or prepare delicious stir-fries even after several months. And that's the second method: simple, clean, and extremely convenient. Now for the more interesting part. Once the tomatoes are frozen solid, we can use that frozen state to create a new method. Let's see how it's done. Method 3. We will turn frozen tomatoes into a smooth, flavorful sauce, which I will use later to cook garlic tomato pasta. First, take a knife and lightly score 2 small lines on the tomato skin. You don't need to cut deeply, just a few scores so that when exposed to hot water, the skin will peel off more easily. Then, pour boiling water over the tomatoes and wait about 30 seconds. You will see the skin shrink and peel off. At this point, you can easily remove the skin with your hands or a small knife, without having to peel it bit by bit, like when using fresh tomatoes. Once the tomatoes are peeled, you just need to chop them up. You can dice them or cut them into pieces, as long as they are small enough to soften quickly when cooked. Two cloves of garlic, minced. Prepare a small pot. Add 1 to 2 tablespoons of olive oil. And prepare 2 cloves of garlic, minced. Cook over low heat for about 20 to 30 seconds to release the garlic aroma. This step creates the base flavor for the sauce. Next, add all the chopped tomatoes to the pot. Stir gently so the tomatoes absorb the oil, and mix well with the garlic. Now increase the heat to medium and cook until the tomatoes begin to boil. When the mixture boils gently, reduce the heat and simmer for 8 to 10 minutes. Stir occasionally so the tomatoes don't stick to the bottom of the pot. After a few minutes, the tomatoes will soften, and the sauce will turn a beautiful red color and thicken naturally, no need to add flour or thickening agents. If you want a richer flavor, you can add a pinch of salt and a dash of black pepper. If you prefer a completely smooth sauce, simply turn off the heat and lightly mash with a spoon or use a hand blender. Now, let's move on to the next part. Cooking a plate of Italian pasta with tomato and garlic sauce, quick, delicious, and just like home. Cooking spaghetti with tomato sauce. Step 1. Cook the pasta. First, boil a large pot of water and add salt. In Europe, people often say that the pasta cooking water should be as salty as the sea for the pasta to taste good. When the water boils, add the pasta and cook according to the instructions on the package, usually about 7 to 10 minutes, until the pasta is just cooked, still slightly firm, called al dente. Step 2. Make the garlic tomato sauce. Place a pan on the stove and add about 1 to 2 tablespoons of olive oil. When the oil is hot, add the minced garlic and sauté quickly until the garlic is lightly browned and fragrant. Next, add 100 grams of minced pork or beef to the pan and stir-fry over medium heat until the meat is tender, firm, and turns a delicious golden brown. Continue stir-frying for a while longer so that the meat absorbs the seasonings and develops a rich flavor. Pour the prepared tomato sauce into the pan. Stir well and season with salt and pepper to taste. If you want a thicker sauce, just cook for a few more minutes. Step 3. Toss the noodles with the sauce. Once the noodles are cooked, drain them and add them directly to the saucepan. You can reserve a little of the pasta water. This helps the sauce cling better and gives the dish a smoother texture. Add seasonings to your taste. Stir over low heat for 1 to 2 minutes to coat the noodles with the sauce. Toss gently over low heat for 1 to 2 minutes to coat the noodles with the sauce. Turn off the heat and serve onto plates. Sprinkle with grated cheese, add some parsley or a few fresh basil leaves on top, and you're done. That's it, very simple, just like a home-cooked meal. With just canned tomatoes and a few familiar ingredients, you have a delicious, quick, and economical plate of Italian pasta with tomato and garlic sauce. And most importantly, when you know how to preserve tomatoes properly, future meals are always faster, cheaper, and almost waste-free. Have you tried any of the 3 methods for storing tomatoes today? Share your thoughts in the comments section. I'd love to know which one works best for you. Hopefully, these tips will help you save money, reduce waste, and always have fresh tomatoes or tomatoes ready to cook with every day. If you found the video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more simple and effective kitchen tips, especially those traditional food preservation methods from our grandparents' time, but adapted for use in a modern European kitchen. Thank you for watching until the end of the video. Wishing you a happy and energetic day. See you in the next video on Everyday Tricks.